Do you know the way you sleep could be slowly harming your body without you even realizing it? As we get older, sleep becomes more precious yet strangely more fragile. We might wake up feeling stiff, sore, or strangely exhausted, almost like the night didn't do its job. And while we're quick to blame aging or a bad mattress, the real culprit might be something far simpler and more overlooked: the position you sleep in. Something as routine as how you place your body in bed could be quietly affecting your health one night at a time. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 common sleeping positions that are especially risky for seniors. Some might seem innocent, even comforting. But for those of us over 60, they can lead to serious issues: reduced blood flow, nerve compression, breathing problems, and long-term strain on vital organs. The scary part? These positions don't always cause immediate pain. Instead, they chip away at your well-being slowly and silently, night after night. So stay with us, because you're about to learn how simple adjustments, like avoiding a certain angle of your neck or changing where you place your arms, could protect your circulation, support your breathing, and even reduce the risk of stroke or heart issues. These aren't dramatic lifestyle overhauls. These are quiet but powerful shifts that make a difference over time. Now let's get started. Number 1. The flat back position with arms at sides. At first glance, lying flat on your back with your arms at your sides might seem like the most natural, neutral position. After all, it's how we're positioned during sleep studies and how many mattresses are designed. But here's what most people don't realize, especially seniors. This position, while aligned on the surface, can quietly work against your circulation, airway, and heart health. When your body no longer rebounds the way it once did, sleeping flat on your back with arms straight down allows gravity to do something subtle but powerful. It draws your tongue backward, especially during deeper stages of sleep. This can partially obstruct your airway, making it harder for oxygen to flow freely. For older adults who may already have a slight decline in respiratory strength or are unknowingly developing sleep apnea, this position can compound the problem. Reduced oxygen during sleep doesn't just leave you tired. Over time, it taxes your heart, weakens your brain, and can even raise blood pressure. And for the spine, sleeping perfectly flat with no pillow support under the knees can place pressure on the lower back, flattening its natural curve. That tension may not be felt immediately, but it builds over time, leading to stiffness, nerve pain, and reduced mobility during the day. If you've ever woken up with a dull ache in your lower back that fades as you move around, this may be the hidden reason why. Now, let's talk about something psychological that often goes unnoticed: the sleep posture while appearing peaceful actually mimics the posture of inactivity and stillness. For many older adults, especially those who live alone or face emotional isolation, this position can subtly reinforce feelings of vulnerability. Your body is fully exposed, limbs close, eyes up. It's the very image of defenselessness. While it may seem symbolic, research in sleep psychology shows that posture affects the way the brain processes nighttime anxiety and nighttime waking. Seniors who regularly sleep flat on their backs with no protective barriers, like a pillow between the knees or a supportive bolster, often report feeling more restless, unsettled, or more prone to midnight panic episodes. One man, 74-year-old Henry from Arizona, spent years sleeping this way because he thought it was the healthiest position. He was always disciplined, eating right, walking daily, but he couldn't figure out why he woke up drained. After his doctor suggested a sleep study, they found he had mild oxygen desaturation episodes throughout the night. It wasn't sleep apnea in the traditional sense, just the angle of his airway when lying flat. Simply elevating his head by 10 degrees and placing a small pillow under his knees made a massive difference. Within weeks, his blood pressure stabilized, his energy levels improved, and he even began remembering his dreams again, something he hadn't done in years. So while lying flat with arms at your sides may seem safe, it's quietly placing strain on critical systems you need to protect in your later years. Your heart, your breath, your back, and even your mind. It's not about making dramatic changes or tossing out your mattress. It's about learning what your body is telling you and honoring those small signals with small shifts. In the end, the most powerful adjustments are often the simplest. Number 2. the fetal position curled too tight. You might be surprised to hear this, but curling up too tightly in the fetal position can quietly sabotage your breathing, circulation, and even emotional balance, especially as you get older. Many seniors instinctively curl up at night, knees drawn to the chest, arms tucked in, back rounded, just like we did as babies. It's a position that feels cozy, familiar, and secure. But when this natural instinct turns into an overly tight posture, it can have unintended consequences. When you sleep with your knees pulled tightly to your chest and your chin tucked down, you compress your chest cavity. That might not seem like a big deal at first, but over several hours, it limits your lungs' ability to fully expand. And for someone in their 60s or 70s whose lung capacity is already reduced compared to youth, this can further restrict the oxygen your body gets during critical periods of rest and repair. This breathing limitation isn't just about oxygen. It can affect your heart rhythm, your brain's ability to detoxify during sleep, and even your energy levels the next day. People who sleep too tightly curled often report grogginess, a foggy head, and feelings of anxiety that don't quite make sense. That's not just in their head. It's the result of shallow sleep caused by shallow breath. Then there's the issue of posture memory. Your body, especially in older age, adapts to the positions you spend the most time in. If you spend 6 to 8 hours every night curled tightly in a ball, your spine starts to remember that shape. Your neck becomes more forward-leaning. Your back rounds. Your chest caves inward. Over time, this can contribute to a condition called kyphosis, or a hunched upper back, which is common in elderly adults. It doesn't just affect how you look. It affects balance, digestion, lung function, and even self-confidence. Let me share the story of Shirley, a 78-year-old woman from Michigan. After her husband passed away, she found herself sleeping in an increasingly tight fetal position. She didn't think much of it until she began waking up with chest tightness, neck pain, and a strange feeling of heaviness she couldn't explain. Her doctor couldn't find anything wrong physically, but a physical therapist noticed her posture and sleeping habits. They gently helped her reposition her sleep, encouraging her to loosen her curl, keep her knees lower, and open her chest slightly with a body pillow. Within weeks, her morning anxiety faded, and she even said she felt lighter, both physically and emotionally. So if you're in the habit of curling up tight at night, take a moment to notice how your body feels when you wake up. Are your shoulders stiff? Is your neck sore? Does your chest feel tight? These little signs are your body's way of whispering, I need more room to breathe. You don't have to sleep stiff like a soldier. Just soften the curve. Allow your knees to drift down. Let your arms relax. You're not retreating from life. You're resting so you can rise strong in it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3. Sleeping on your stomach. Sleeping on your stomach may seem harmless. Some even find it comforting. But for seniors, this position can quietly trigger a cascade of physical strain that builds up night after night. And the truth is, the older we get, the less forgiving our bodies become to this kind of repeated pressure. Let's start with the spine. When you lie on your stomach, your lower back naturally arches upward because your hips and abdomen sink into the mattress. That exaggerated curve in your lumbar spine isn't just uncomfortable. It puts constant tension on the muscles and ligaments surrounding your vertebrae. For people over 60 who often already struggle with some degree of arthritis or degenerative disc issues, this added strain can worsen existing pain, or even create new areas of discomfort that didn't exist before. But it's not just your back that suffers. Think about where your head has to go when you're sleeping on your belly. You can't breathe face down into the pillow, so your neck has to twist sharply to one side, often for hours at a time. That unnatural rotation can tighten the muscles in your neck and shoulders and reduce blood flow to the brain. Over time, this position can also compress cervical nerves, which may explain why some seniors wake up with tingling arms, stiff necks, or headaches that seem to come out of nowhere. Take the story of Richard, a 72-year-old retired firefighter from New York. He'd been a lifelong stomach sleeper and never thought much of it. But over time, he developed nagging back pain and morning headaches that no doctor could quite explain. After a sleep therapist asked him about his position, he decided to experiment. With the help of a wedge pillow and a side sleeping setup, he gradually trained himself out of stomach sleeping. Within weeks, the headaches stopped. Within a month, his back felt stronger. He told his therapist, "I didn't know how much pressure I was putting on myself until I finally lifted it." If you've been sleeping on your stomach for decades, changing might feel unnatural at first, but your body will thank you. Use a supportive side pillow to prevent rolling, or place a firm pillow under your hips if you're transitioning slowly. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Small adjustments lead to better mornings, clearer heads, and stronger, more balanced bodies as we age. Number 4. Sleeping in a reclined, sitting position. A surprising number of seniors, especially those struggling with back pain or breathing issues, find themselves sleeping in a recliner or propped up in bed with multiple pillows. It feels like a compromise, something between sitting and lying down. And while it might bring temporary relief, this reclined sitting position can quietly chip away at your physical health in ways most people never see coming. Let's talk about the posture first. When you sleep in a semi-sitting position, your spine is not in a natural alignment. Your head tends to fall forward or tilt to one side, especially if the neck isn't fully supported. Over time, this can shorten the muscles in your neck and shoulders, leading to chronic stiffness, limited mobility, and even tension headaches. And when your upper body curls forward even slightly, it puts pressure on the chest and diaphragm, which restricts deep breathing. That reduced oxygen intake can cause poor sleep quality, mental fog, and even cardiovascular strain over time. Now, think about your lower body. In a reclined position, your hips remain partially flexed, and your knees are often bent for hours. This creates a condition similar to being in a seated position all night. Blood circulation becomes compromised, especially in the legs. People who sleep like this often wake up with swollen ankles, leg cramps, or even the beginnings of varicose veins. For seniors, reduced circulation is more than just uncomfortable. It can be dangerous, increasing the risk of clot formation or contributing to numbness and weakness in the limbs. But there's something even more subtle happening here. The body begins to accept poor posture as normal. If your muscles spend 6 to 8 hours every night reinforcing a seated curve, where your shoulders are forward and your spine is compressed, that posture will start to follow you into your daytime life. Before you know it, you're not just sleeping curled up, you're standing, walking, and sitting with the same posture. This increases the risk of falls, back issues, and overall fatigue. Psychologically, this sleep position can also impact your sense of rest and restoration. Recliner sleeping doesn't allow the full muscle relaxation that lying flat does. Your body remains slightly engaged in a kind of standby mode. It's like trying to charge your phone while it's still running a bunch of apps. You never get a full charge. That's why many seniors who sleep in chairs often say, "I slept, but I didn't rest." The difference may sound small, but over weeks or months, it can affect energy, mood, and memory. Take, for example, Gary, a 74-year-old veteran from Oregon. After developing acid reflux, he began sleeping in his recliner most nights. At first, it helped his symptoms. But then he started noticing numbness in his hands and his neck was always sore in the morning. His doctor suggested he elevate the head of his bed instead of sleeping upright. So Gary invested in an adjustable bed and supportive wedge pillows. That small change allowed him to sleep at an incline without sacrificing spinal alignment. Within 2 weeks, his symptoms improved, and he finally felt rested again. It's important to recognize that while reclined sleeping might seem like a short-term fix, it often becomes a long-term trap. The body adapts to the position, but not in a healthy way. If you need to sleep with your upper body elevated for health reasons, make sure it's done with proper alignment, using supportive tools that respect your spine's natural curves. Avoid slouching or letting your head droop. It's not about sleeping like a soldier. It's about giving your body the right shape to restore itself fully. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5. Sleeping face down. Sleeping on your stomach may seem harmless. Some even find it comforting. But for seniors, this position can be one of the most damaging for long-term health, especially when it becomes a nightly habit. While younger bodies can often adapt, older adults may find that this position slowly causes strain, misalignment, and hidden harm that accumulates night after night. First, let's consider what happens to the neck. In order to breathe while lying face down, you have to twist your head to one side for hours at a time. That puts enormous pressure on the cervical spine, especially between the C1 and C4 vertebrae. Over time, this can lead to nerve compression, limited neck mobility, or even chronic vertigo. Many seniors who sleep on their stomach wake up with dizziness, neck pain, or a sensation of tightness in the jaw or shoulders, without realizing where it's coming from. But the issues don't stop at the neck. Sleeping on your stomach flattens the natural curve of your spine. Your lower back sinks downward, placing continuous pressure on the lumbar region. This can cause subtle spinal misalignment, which may not show up immediately but often leads to stiffness, inflammation, and disc issues later on. For older adults who already have osteoarthritis or spinal degeneration, this position can make symptoms worse or accelerate joint breakdown. Another concern that many don't think about is organ compression. When you lie on your stomach, your chest and abdomen are pressed down against the mattress. This restricts natural lung expansion and can reduce oxygen intake during sleep. You may not notice it consciously, but your body takes in shallow breaths throughout the night. Reduced oxygen affects how well your brain and muscles recover, and it may explain why some people feel groggy or mentally foggy after a full night's sleep in this position. Stomach sleeping can also impact digestion. Pressing your stomach against a firm surface for hours can disturb the natural flow of digestion, and even worsen issues like acid reflux or bloating. When digestion slows, you might wake up feeling heavy or uncomfortable, not just in your belly, but throughout your entire body. One small pressure point can have ripple effects on how you feel throughout the day. Psychologically, sleeping in a face-down position may also be associated with a defensive or withdrawn state. In sleep research, this position is sometimes linked with heightened tension in the body, especially in people who struggle with anxiety or emotional overwhelm. It's almost as if the body is curling into itself for protection. While this doesn't apply to everyone, many seniors find that shifting to a more open position, like side sleeping with proper support, helps them feel more emotionally balanced and physically refreshed in the morning. Take Linda, a 71-year-old from Minnesota who had always been a stomach sleeper since her 20s. In recent years, she started waking up with severe backaches and headaches. Her physical therapist suggested she try a transition to side sleeping using a body pillow for support. At first, she resisted. It felt unnatural. But within a month, she noticed her sleep was deeper, her mood better, and her pain significantly reduced. Sometimes changing a lifelong habit feels like an uphill battle, she said. But in my case, it was the key to waking up feeling whole again. The bottom line is this. Stomach sleeping might seem innocent, but for seniors, it's often a silent saboteur. It compresses the spine, restricts the breath, and limits the body's ability to heal. If you're used to sleeping this way, consider slowly retraining yourself. Start by using pillows to support side sleeping, or even slightly elevated back sleeping if that's more comfortable. What matters most is giving your body a chance to fully restore each night, without pressure points, twisted joints, or blocked airways. Changing how you sleep may not feel urgent, but it can quietly shape how you age, how you heal, and how well you meet each new day. And for seniors, that kind of change can mean everything. Number 6. Unsupported back sleeping. Lying flat on your back might sound like the most neutral, even natural position. And in many ways, it can be if it's done right. But for seniors who sleep on their backs without proper support, this seemingly harmless position can slowly trigger a cascade of health issues that grow worse with time, often without any obvious signs in the beginning. When you're young, your spine is more flexible, and your muscles are strong enough to support the natural curves of your body, even on a flat surface. But as we age, our muscle tone changes. The lumbar curve in your lower back tends to flatten out, and your hips may tilt slightly forward. If you lie flat without lumbar support, the spine isn't held in its ideal position, and gravity begins to pull your pelvis downward while your lower back arches unnaturally upward. This creates subtle tension through the lower spine that may not wake you during the night, but certainly accumulates into tightness and stiffness in the morning. In fact, one of the most common complaints among older adults who sleep on their backs is waking up with tight hamstrings, aching lower backs, or even hip discomfort that seems to come out of nowhere. But it isn't random. It's often the direct result of sleeping in a way that leaves the spine and pelvis floating without support. Another major concern is sleep apnea. For many seniors, back sleeping increases the risk of airway obstruction. When you lie flat on your back, your tongue can fall backward toward your throat, partially blocking the airway and causing snoring, disrupted breathing, or even prolonged pauses in breathing. Even mild apnea can lower oxygen levels and rob your brain of the deep sleep it needs to clear out waste, consolidate memory, and repair cells. Over time, this has been linked to cognitive decline and reduced heart health. But the problem doesn't end there. Unsupported back sleeping can also worsen acid reflux. Without a slight incline or pillow support under the head and upper back, stomach acid can more easily travel upward into the esophagus, especially if you've eaten a late meal. That burning sensation or coughing fit at 2 a.m. might not be indigestion alone. It might be your sleeping position aggravating an already sensitive digestive system. Psychologically, this position can be a double-edged sword. While some people feel completely at ease on their backs, others experience vulnerability or restlessness, particularly if they're alone or dealing with anxiety. Lying flat with nothing supporting your body can feel like being exposed, both physically and emotionally. For some, this can contribute to shallow breathing, difficulty falling asleep, or even nighttime panic. Take George, a 76-year-old retired school principal from Indiana. He never thought twice about sleeping flat on his back until his chiropractor pointed out his worsening lumbar stiffness and chronic fatigue. After switching to a wedge pillow and placing a small pillow under his knees, he noticed an immediate difference. His back no longer ached in the morning. His breathing felt deeper, and he actually stayed asleep longer. It wasn't about changing the position itself, he said. It was about supporting my body better within it. If you're someone who prefers sleeping on your back, don't worry. You don't have to give it up, but it's important to support your natural curves. Use a pillow that elevates your head slightly to prevent snoring and reflux, and place a small cushion under your knees to maintain the natural shape of your spine. These tiny changes can make a world of difference. And if you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. By now, you might be realizing that sleep isn't just about getting enough hours. It's about how we spend those hours. The position you settle into night after night might seem harmless, or even comforting. But for many older adults, it's doing more damage than they realize. Each position we covered today, whether it's fetal curling, prone sleeping, elevated neck tilting, twisted posture, or unsupported back sleeping, has its own unique way of putting stress on your body, restricting circulation, interfering with breathing, or quietly worsening issues like joint pain and digestion. But here's the good news. You're not stuck with these habits. Awareness is the first step toward change. And the fact that you've watched this far means you care about your health, your longevity, and your quality of life. That matters. Because even small shifts like using a knee pillow, adjusting your mattress firmness, or simply being mindful of your position can lead to huge improvements over time. So tonight, when you lay down, take a moment to check in with your body. Are you fully supported? Are your joints relaxed and aligned? Can you breathe easily? Ask yourself those questions not out of fear, but out of self-care. Because the way you sleep isn't just a habit. It's a choice. A daily opportunity to nurture your body, restore your energy, and protect your future. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.